Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us once again on the Discipline Therapy podcast with your two hosts, Mr. E.L. Discipline, and with him always, Suhey Sotomayor. Let's start the show the way we usually start the shows. Also, a little reminder for everybody, if you cannot watch the show on the YouTube channel, you can always listen. We are on all major listening platforms: Apple Podcasts, Google, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Deezer, um, Amazon Music, Spotify,
Spotify,
Spotify.
Google podcast.
I said
You
that.
said
Yeah.
okay.
Podcast Chaser, Podcast Addict, or something like
hmm
that. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, we know you're fiends, and what that means is we have a dose of discipline therapy where everything is completely free. See, if you subscribe, there's no monthly fee, it's free. It's judgment free, sucker free, censor free, sensitive free, and plenty of liberty. God and the ancient ancestors are great, and that means everything else is straight. So go grab your wine, popcorn, or roll a blunt, but the main thing is make sure the children are in bed. Why? Because we have that soul food and sometimes vulgar conversations prepare your mind to be fed. Light one up, inhale life, and exhale strife. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, you are tuned into the Discipline Therapy Podcast. We're
We're
here.
here. All right. So today's episode 56, Black Culture.
Yeah.
So, what do you have to say about about Black culture?
Well, first, moving forward, like we doing the overviews now. So,
Mm,
um, let me just do an overview of what I believe Black culture is, and then we'll get into the topic. Um, Black culture to me is hip hop. Black culture to me is slang, language. Black culture to me is
food,
foods.
uh,
Black culture to me is
hairstyles.
yeah, hairstyles. Black culture to me is styles of clothing. Like I remember the velours
Mm-hmm.
back in the day, like the old school in the 80s or whatever, rocking the Adidas or the velours. Black culture to me is like FUBU.
Mm-hmm.
Black culture to me is like the Jordans. You know what I'm saying? Like how you know new Jordans was coming out, and then you see like a line of people, lined up and waiting to get the new
Mm-hmm.
Jordans. It's like, I never understood that, but I got it. You know what I'm saying? But to me, I always used to think y'all waiting on line to buy the same sneaker that everybody else has. Like, I'm the type of person, I like to
Be
have
different.
things other people don't have.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's a car, like, damn, we can't find those anymore. Whether it's whatever it is, style, I'm unorthodox. So
Mm.
I love having things other people don't have. Um, so I always thought that was weird, but that's part of black culture. Black culture is country music. Like I said, black culture is rap.
Mm.
Black culture is
Country
like
music. That's interesting. I would not have
jazz.
associated those two. Jazz, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, country music is originated
Interesting.
from black. Black culture is sports. Black culture is inventions. And this is all the stuff that we're gonna talk about today. There's more with black culture, but that's what I associate black culture is. Um, you know, we're gonna get into it.
Okay. Now, your first bullet point here. Some Black people are Black for a season, a holiday, or when the Black empowerment movement was raging and roaring high. What do you mean by that?
Um, for example, like Black History Month.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm black all year round. So I'm just I just believe that sometimes, you could get as high as you could get status, money, and you just forget where you come from. There's a lot of black people out there, whether they're successful, whether they're in a high income environment, and they're the only black person in that neighborhood, their family, they forget that they're black. There's a lot of white
Mm.
black men. There's a lot of white black women. You know what I'm saying? So like that's what I'm talking about.
So you feel? Do you feel like those people are they kind of hinder the black movement?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, be aware of sponsors calling for ambassadors of Black Lives or Black Empowerment products. Most of them are ran by white or white supremacists.
What do you think about that?
Well, I know that there's been talks of, and I can't remember her name exactly, but that some of them are, instead of getting the money that has been donated and putting it towards where it's supposed to go,
Hmm.
I've heard that they're taking it for themselves, buying themselves cars or
Mm.
so on and so forth. So
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that, and definitely people should, don't just because somebody's calling or knocking on your door saying, oh, we're for this. No, you have to make, always, what do we always push? You have to do your research.
Yeah. Remember what episode was it? Um was it Why Black Lives Matter? Chapter 14, episode season 2?
Could have been.
Maybe. I asked you who invented the Black Lives Matter,
Mm-hmm.
the hashtags and stuff. Who invented that?
Yeah,
Who invented that? Like we don't know. We're following a trend. We don't know.
that's
One of the
true.
things I like to inspire is critical thinkers,
Mm-hmm.
analytic thinkers. Why is it that Trayvon Martin could get shot and killed? Or Sterling, the list goes on.
Mm-hmm.
Every single time, Sandra Blaine, every single time, whether it's police brutality, whatever it is, they make a shirt.
Yeah,
See what I'm
that's true.
saying?
Yeah. Who's the one? Amari, the one that was running. That his two, the ones that the father and son that killed them
Ahmad,
are
Ahmad,
Ahmad Aubrey.
Aubrey, yeah.
Yes, his mother said, do not put his name on a shirt. Don't do any of that because you're
Mm,
not helping me. You're not
yeah,
helping this cause.
yeah,
You're trying to line your pockets." And actually, when I read that, I was like taken aback, like, "Whoa, what's going on?"
yeah.
And in that story is how I heard about the Black Lives Movement, people taking the money and not giving it to where it's
Yeah.
supposed to be, like
So
helping with funerals or whatever.
yeah. So another reason why that bullet I placed that bullet there, created it, is because I had when we first started the podcast, it took a little bit of time, months went by. Like been doing it for a year and probably 4 months or something like that now.
Damn.
So 3 months, yeah, something like that. So here's the thing. 4 months, 1 month. So here's the thing. Um we started getting sponsors
Mm-hmm.
like like 7 months in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we'll pay you this, put it on your show,
Mm-hmm.
or we'll send you apparel, whatever it is. So I received a DM that was a Black Lives Matter. Oh, look, check out our website or whatever. And me, I'm I'm very supportive of black people, black products, black businesses. Well, even if I'm not gonna get anything out of it, shout
Mm-hmm.
out, whatever, you know, I'm just gonna do it. And I was like, oh yeah, no problem. Let me support you. Go on the website, check out the website. My peripherals, something was telling me something is off.
Mm-hmm.
So now I I Googled them, and then from Google took me to YouTube, and I was seeing reviews what other people were saying.
Oh wow.
And then when I looked more in depth, I was like, oh, this is not ran by a black person.
Mm. That's crazy.
Yeah,
So you said, don't forget it. I'm not gonna do it.
yeah.
Mm.
So like
Good for you.
people have to be careful
Yeah.
because and this goes back to, like, this is gonna go into the next bullet. But there are people out there who are trying to benefit from it,
Yeah,
and they're
definitely.
wearing a mask. So, and I've said this to you. We said it off air, even when we were coming out with season 2, episode 14, Why Black Lives Matter.
Hmm.
I was telling you, I don't think I said it on camera, but I was telling you off camera that um black people, Spanish people as well, but more black people are contributors to apparel,
Mm.
especially designer.
Mm.
A
Like,
lot of these are racist
yeah,
owners, whether it
racist
was
designers.
Louis, Gucci, whoever, right?
Ralph.
Racist owners,
Mm-hmm.
but who's buying
Buying
them?
it, exactly.
Whether it's an actor, rappers, whatever it is, and they're putting it on their stuff. They're saying it in their music, and that's
Mm-hmm.
influencing regular people like us
Yep.
to get it and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We want to be like celebrities
Yep.
also. So let's get the stuff as well. So that's why I'm saying they're aware of this. Yo, perfect example. Remember the whole thing with Colin Kaepernick?
Yes.
They put him on the face of Nike, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of that.
Yes,
You
that's
see
true.
what Colin Kaepernick was doing? He was making such a big noise. So many people were following, "Oh, we back you," and stuff like that. These white guys sat at a boardroom and they were like, "Yo, how can we benefit all these black people? Look how much black people are supporting this. Let's use this to our advantage." I
Yeah.
guarantee you the conversation went like that.
Yeah. I mean, but do you think that maybe it was just like that, or maybe they
It
thought, all right,
wasn't
we could
verbatim.
make, I know, but I'm saying just on what you think. Um, do you feel like that's all how it was, or do you think that maybe those people really wanted to help make a change?
No,
You don't think that at all?
no,
Wow. All right.
no, not at all. You look at it this way. 85% of the consumers in this world are women.
Okay.
So if you come out with a product and you're catering to women, you know, you're gonna look at a business mindset, the market, who's our most prominent consumers. You're gonna cater to them in whatever capacity. So now, like when you witness all of this, like, yo, look at all these black people and look at the support they're giving. Look at the movement. Look at these protests. Look at the riots and
Mm,
stuff like that. And then, you know, um, whatever type of product, this and that, let's cater to them because
mm,
they're gonna buy it more.
yeah, that's true. Well, the same thing happened back in the days with Cristal.
Mm,
You know, Cristal said, "I don't want to. I'm not gonna sell. I don't want rappers and them using drinking my stuff."
mm.
So I know of a specific person who said, "Guess what? I don't need your Cristal. I'm gonna invent my own."
Jay.
That's right. I thought we weren't dropping names.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
So, um, so this goes back into the culture vulture thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the
There's a
other.
lot of culture vultures out there.
Oh yes.
Um, and that was part of what I was talking about. So it doesn't, like, this is part of culture vulturing, culture, being a culture vulture. Um, you you never lived the lifestyle, but you
Mm,
rap about it
yes.
because you know that this is the core audience.
Yeah. Correct.
Meanwhile, you were born in a suburban area. Rap nowadays, right? It's not like it used to be.
No, it's not.
If somebody comes out with the CD today, I know I'm not getting it. I'll just stream it
Mm-hmm.
of iTunes or
Yep.
something. But a white kid from the suburban area will,
Why is that?
because and I've told you this off camera, but I'll
Okay.
say it on. Suburban kids look at it as, okay, I'm going to use this analogy. The safari, right? And and it's also metaphor for safari for when you on iPhone. You check
Okay.
Safari,
Mm-hmm.
but the jungle, Safari. If you look into the safari and you say, these are savage beasts, but I'm fond of them. You're in the safari with them. Now, you don't have to be within close proximity, but you are in the same environment.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You're gonna feel like you belong. This is how these
Mm.
suburban kids are.
Ah, I see. That
You
makes
see what I'm
sense.
saying?
You're good
So
at
they
making sense.
could go on safari and
Hmm.
Google everything about hip hop and then get the knowledge and think they're about it.
And dress that way and all that stuff.
Yes. And same thing with being in the safari with the beasts, with the lions,
Hmm.
and you're like, we don't have to be at close proximity, but we feel like we're lions too.
Mm.
You
Well,
see what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Right.
So it's just like, it could be rappers, like they don't, they never did what they're talking about.
Yes,
That's part of culture for them. And they could be
that's true.
black.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Also, I know like hairstyles. That's a big thing with females now. Taking the braids. A lot of Caucasian women like the braids, putting it in their
mm,
hair and all that stuff.
mm,
And when they try to use the same products, like it's not there's you guys do not have the same type of hair.
mm,
The consistency, the thickness, or whatever. You cannot use the
mm,
same products. Is not You're not gonna get the same results. You don't
mm.
have the same type of hair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this goes more in depth with like full lips, big butt,
Mm-hmm. Oh
big
yeah.
tits, curves,
Tanning.
tanning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
Definitely. The judicial system doesn't favor blacks, but whites, and this is why history has shown whites get lesser punishments than blacks. The system allows attorneys, police officers, prosecutors, and the rest of law enforcement to lie.
yes.
That's true, and it's scary that the more things are get are being brought to light,
Mhm,
like how deep it goes, like how really bad it is in the judicial system with in any capacity, down to the public defenders. If you
I'm
get a public defender that's racist, kiss your ass goodbye.
I'm gonna tell you something. No disrespect, because disrespect is coming.
To me,
Yeah,
oh Lord, I hope we're clipping this
you.
part out.
No, I'm not. You will favor. You know what I'm gonna say?
Oh yeah, I use that to my advantage because I'm light skinned.
Yeah,
Yeah, until I open my mouth and then it
yeah.
just.
Or they see your last name or whatever it is, because your skin color will benefit to
Oh
white
yeah.
supremacy. And I'm bringing this up because with the lesser punishments, there was this woman. I don't remember her full name, but it was like Gonzalez. I think she's Mexican or something. She was a correctional officer.
Oh, and
She was having sex with the
the inmates.
inmates.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah, so she would cut holes in between
Her
her
uniform.
uniform. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
she was also giving them things, whether it was burner, you know what a
Yep.
burner is.
Yeah.
They were making outgo calls. They were just getting
Do I know what
better
a burner is?
treatment.
Mm.
Better treatment. You know, because they were fucking her. She got like 200 days.
Oh, really? I
The
didn't
prosecutor
read
was
that
like,
far.
"Oh, she's never had a record before. We've all she's seen the error of her ways. Everybody makes mistakes." Imagine if that was a black Latina.
Mm. Yeah. Well, how about that woman, the poor woman, young black mother who left her kids in sleeping in, I think she was staying in a hotel to go to work. She got arrested for that.
Hmm.
Instead of arresting her and having her now having to have to spend more money and go through all this to get her kids back, why not just help her
Yeah.
off rip instead of doing that?
Hmm.
It's not like she left them to go sell drugs or to go sell ass or whatever. I mean, whatever you have to do, but she left to go to work so she could support them.
Yeah.
So I don't. That's awful. And let's not forget about the schools also. Schools are even. I read something in preschool. In preschool,
Hmm.
they have. I'm going to read it to you.
Okay.
Mm, 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 mm. Here we go. All right. So remember preschool, learning to write your name, playing with dolls and blocks, jumping in puddles. That's supposed to be the preschool experience. But also a part of that experience is racism in preschool. That is when I read that off rip, I was like, they're babies.
Mm.
It turns out that Black students are much more likely to be suspended from preschool than white students. They make up 18% of all preschoolers, but represent almost 50% of preschool suspensions. I've never even heard of such a thing. And it doesn't, it goes on from preschool all the way K through 12.
Mm.
You know, when Black students and white students commit similar infractions, Black students are suspended and expelled 3 times more often than white students.
Good.
Go ahead. No, you were going to say
I was
something?
gonna say because blacks, no matter younger, older, they're considered a danger to society.
Well, another thing is that they said a recent study, and this study is from the U.S. Department of Education.
Mm.
Okay, so a recent study says that it found Black boys as young as 10 years old are routinely perceived to be significantly older and less innocent when
Mm.
compared to white boys of the same age.
Mm.
Um, and then with schools, them getting suspended and their infractions are much more higher.
Mm.
A lot of the schools that they're in, they have more police involvement, whether that be actual police officers or school resource officers or
Mm.
whatever, more than guidance counselors.
Mm.
So that is now instilling. It's called school to prison pipeline,
Wow.
right? I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, because
Which makes
just
the kids, since they're
the
getting suspended more often and in trouble more often, it makes them be like, I'm just gonna drop out.
the schools are preparing you for prison.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
and
saying?
and it's Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
No, go ahead.
Detention, the
Mm-hmm.
bell rings, wait online for your lunch. You have a subordinate. You know what I'm saying? Or superior. You have to be subordinate. Um, you have good behavior, bad
Mm-hmm.
behavior. Detention is like the whole solitary confinement.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. You have to stand in line to go get your lunch and all that stuff.
mhm.
And it's just like a domino effect, because repeated suspension and expulsion also eventually convinces many students to drop out at a disproportionate number. And also those that stay in school, it's even harder for them to graduate.
Mm.
And with all of this, they're also saying that faced with so much racism and you know stuff like that in school, it makes Black children more to develop some sort of mental
Traumas.
health, yes, mental
Yeah.
health issue that goes unnoted,
Mhm.
because again, in Black and Hispanic communities, and I don't know which other minority groups,
Mhm.
that is like a big taboo. We don't talk about that.
Well, here's the thing, and nobody will talk about this really, and they won't look into history on this. And even if they do, they won't care. Here's the thing. When we look at history of who who's going up in schools shooting schools, who's
Hmm.
going to movie theaters shooting up movie theaters, bomb threats and stuff like that. Black people aren't doing that. Never did that. You know what I'm saying? And when these young white males or whatever, they're on trial or whatever it is, it's, oh, just, send them into like a mental institution, mental institution. They
Yeah,
have
he had
something
trauma.
wrong. Yeah, they have trauma. They need help. We'll just give them like 6 months probation. They need help. They found the
Hmm.
error of their ways.
Hmm.
Yeah,
That's true. And also, damn, you were saying something and it triggered something, and then you said something else, and it made it go right out.
the
But
schools.
yeah, and it goes all the way into, obviously, like the domino effect into college. You have teachers that, how like these Karens,
Hmm.
like specifically the one who called the cops on the Black man. and she was walking her dog, and he was taking pictures of birds or looking at
Yeah,
birds.
part.
Right, in the park. How they would call the cops to say, "Oh, he's threatening me." Teachers who are racist in the school system, and somebody has sent me this. I forgot the word verbatim how how it went, but it was they do the same things. They kind of gaslight the children of color, blacks, mostly blacks, Hispanic males, and Native American.
Mm-hmm.
They get it the worst according to the U.S. Department of Education.
Mm-hmm.
And those teachers will do the same thing. Like let's say there's a black student and a white student fighting, they automatically take the white student side and send the other one down to the principal,
Mm-hmm.
and then hence the expulsion and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to bring that up, that it's something. When I read preschool, that is just you
Yeah,
are
it's
just setting
insane.
these poor children down. That's
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah, man. It's just that it's also easier to blame a black person. You know what I'm saying? Like in their mind, it's easier to just blame a black person because you're socially conditioned to something.
Mm.
You know, in society, what you see on the news or whatever, oh, these people are criminal. This race is criminal. That's why that woman had the audacity. That's why she felt um privileged. She felt comfortable to do that. If something goes wrong, I'll just blame it on him. Like
Hmm.
she thought that way. She
Yeah.
may not have articulated, but she thought that way. And there are people out there, whites, who really think like that. Asians that are not black and brown that think that way.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Anything goes on. It could be a job.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
even,
saying?
and you know what else they said, that colleges will they pay more attention, or they try to favor white sounding names.
Mm.
So I
Yeah.
would be fucked.
Yes.
They're vegs. Or maybe not, because Suhei sounds Asian. Maybe they'll be like, ah, she's Asian. Come in. She's smart. What a shock would they
They'll
have?
think Sue J. No,
Sujay,
not
yeah,
not
because
Sue Hay.
they won't pronounce it
They
right.
won't pronounce it right. So Sue J, like that's
Maybe not
different.
then.
Like
Maybe not then. The
it's
big no.
different, you know.
Yeah,
So
definitely. That's awful.
you gotta look at it like this this is this is why sometimes like the best talent won't get the opportunity
Yeah.
because of the color of the skin.
Even
It's
with.
like you and I could be going for the same job. I could have a college degree, you don't. Um and it's a male and
Hmm.
he's hiring us for the same job.
Yeah.
It could be like $100 an hour and I have more qualifications than you. But because he's a male and he's like, he's too masculine. I see us probably bumping heads,
Mm.
or maybe I won't be able to work with him and my staff because of the color of his skin. But she got a pretty face. She got big tits. She
Jesus
got a fat
Christ.
ass. I could
Mm.
enjoy working next to her every day, looking
That's
at that
true.
shit. I could have a wife at home, but you know what I'm saying?
I'm at
Looking at,
work now.
yeah, now I got a work
True.
wife. So you might not have the qualifications for the job. You might have
Yep.
a fragment, but he's gonna hire you over me.
Yep. But unless they already discussed the money, you would probably get paid if you got the job before me,
Boy,
because you're a man.
maybe.
I'm gonna go with yeah.
It depends if that guy it depends.
It does
It
depend,
depends
but
because what I stated right now with favoritism and looks and oh, I'm a horny bastard. I'd rather have the hire the chick, give a fuck about her qualifications, but just to look at it. I know this personally. I'm
yeah,
not
no.
gonna I'm not gonna drop any names, but I work at a corporation where I was an assistant manager and I had a store manager, and I was interviewing somebody, and he said to me, "So how did it go?" I'm like, "Nah, I don't think it's gonna work out." Dude, are you crazy? You see that ass?
Oh
We
my
could
lord.
look at that shit all day. And I'm looking at him, tall white guy, you know what I'm saying? Got a Latina wife at home,
Oh man.
you know what I'm saying? He's like, "Oh, we could look at that shit all day." You know what I'm saying? Go get her to hire. This is why I'm saying this.
Awful. That's
You
awful.
you know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
imagine a man who like works in like a different corporation, and he might be like this.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Not getting enough pussy at home. Fucking, oh, I'm gonna have some nice pussy, nice ass, nice pretty girl, whatever, petite, whatever, big breast, ass, pretty face every day to look at. You
That's
see what
true.
I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And white
That's true
or
too.
Latina who's lighter, maybe your complexion. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Next bullet. Music, television shows, language, slang, religions, foods, dance style, literature, inventions, art. What is this? Is this just naming things?
Black culture is essential in American history.
Maybe I should have finished reading
Yeah.
the whole thing.
That's why I added all that. Because when you
I'm
look
so
at it, it's
sorry.
like, where would America be without us? I wrote that in The Importance of Discipline,
Mm-hmm.
chapter 14, Why Black Lives Matter.
Mm-hmm.
Where would America be without blacks? They don't give a fuck about the other races. You know, I'm paraphrasing,
Right.
not verbatim, but I've written it in the book. They don't care about the other races. They're always thinking, what are the blacks up to? What are they doing now? What new things we can steal? What
Mm.
new slang we can steal? What new dance we can steal? What this is that television show ideas, music, whatever weak food we can steal.
I actually read that black TikTokers, they're not doing, you know how I think TikTok, all those dances, from what my understanding, they all originate on TikTok,
Mm,
right? And it's, black people doing the dance and then putting it out and everybody following. Apparently, they said that they're not going to do it and see how well, the, you know, other, I guess, other races, do it and see
mhm,
how well it goes. And it's not been going well.
mm.
They don't know how to do it. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. When it
That's a big read. That's a big influence. TikTok, they're like, we're not gonna do it. And now it's just there it is.
Yeah, think about if the world was eradicated of blacks. It would be pretty boring. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like we keep shit live and they know that. And it's almost like we need the hyenas, but we're humans. We can't run as fast as them to capture them. We don't have the physical capacity and strength, but we could get these lions. These lions are faster. These lions are stronger. These lions can dominate. So we can get these lions and tranquilize them and make them jump on command and do this and do that.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? And that's how it is with like blacks. You know how powerful we are, but we gotta keep them here because they're lions.
mm-hmm.
But we can use them for this slavery. This is
Yes.
one of the reasons why slavery started.
Mm-hmm.
This country was built off the backs of slaves.
Yep.
Think about it. 400 plus years, these motherfuckers paying cotton built off the backs of slaves. You got to understand, nowadays, when you get into a job and you pass that 90-day probation, you're entitled to benefits,
Mm-hmm.
health, medical, whatever, benefits. They're working for free. They're not
Mm-hmm.
getting benefits. So look how they're getting rich for free.
Yeah.
Slave trade for free.
I read in
Free
Haiti,
labor.
in Haiti back in the days before the revolution. That was the biggest, I mean, slaves were dying at such an alarming rate. Like it was every day there was more hundreds of slaves being brought in
Yeah.
because hundreds were dying every day. That's insane. 1921, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Black Wall Street massacre happened due to jealousy. Yep.
Yeah.
That also happened in New York where Central Park is. There was a
Mm,
whole section that was black businesses, black everything, and
hmm.
it was thriving,
Yeah.
and all because of jealousy.
Yeah, because at that moment, Black Wall Street was the wealthiest community.
What was it called?
Black Wall
Oh,
Street
Black Wall
in
Street.
Tulsa,
Yes.
Oklahoma,
Yep.
it was the wealthiest community. And like yeah, it comes down
And
to jealousy.
self-sustained. Yeah.
There's a lot of systemic racism and racial oppression that's going on. Um, now with the whole George Floyd thing that occurred during the pandemic. Because the thing is, all of this shit has been going on, but because of the
Mm-hmm.
pandemic, everything slowed down. Things were shut down. So what were everybody doing? Watching the
Looking.
news. Everybody was everybody could pay attention to things now.
Mm-hmm.
So now that they saw that this happened, they started saying, "Oh man, now we need like we really now understand that black people have been going through oppression. We understand now that there's racial injustice. We understand
Mm.
now that
How
the
deep it goes
judicial system is fucked up. We understand now that, you know,
in
black people
schools.
are being mistreated and all this other stuff." Like, so now they trying to bring it to light. But the reality is, like, this is going on everywhere, from the
Mm-hmm.
workplace to all of this. Like, there's a boardroom full of white guys,
But do you
and they
think that
won't
that's
allow
changing?
blacks to be in there. Like, you could only be a store manager. You
Mm.
could only be an executive of this corporation that we have. Wall Street. You can only be this, a broker. You can't be over here with us. You can't own shit. You can't be a
Right.
CEO. You can't be sitting at the table with
Do you
us.
feel that that's changing or is staying the same? It's getting worse.
It's changing a little bit.
Okay.
There's a corporation I used to be at. I'm not gonna mention it.
They have a
Now there's
female,
a
right?
black
Woman.
female
Yeah.
CEO.
I read that too.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, and that corporation had a lawsuit, and I talked about this in season 2, episode 14. They had a lawsuit against them against blacks.
Mm.
And I
I
think maybe that
remember.
helped me get promoted after college.
That's true.
In I think oh eight I graduated. So like 09 or something like that, I got promoted. But that could have helped, because that lawsuit happened in like '06,
Mm.
2006, with that corporation. So go ahead.
How do you feel about people that say, no, scratch that. How do you feel about black people that say, fuck, you know, we want to be segregated. You do your thing and let us do our thing, and we won't mix in with you. You won't mix in with us. But like, how do you feel about that?
They should go back to Africa if that's how they feel, or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna elaborate. We live in America, right? And even though there is segregation that is going on, but it's discreet,
Sometimes it's not that discreet. It happens in schools.
okay? But even though there's segregation going on, um, we still have to deal with each other. We still have to deal with each other. There could be a white man who's like, yo, I'm racist. I don't give a fuck. Da 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 da. Yeah, be racist and live in a box. But one day, you know, let's say you're not a vegan. You like to eat fucking fast food.
Okay.
And there's a Hispanic waitress, or there's a Hispanic woman at the drive-through that's taking your order. You gotta deal with her, or you gotta bounce.
That's true.
You see what I'm saying?
That's
You
true.
gotta, like,
We have to
you're not
learn.
gonna avoid black people. You're not gonna avoid Spanish people. Same thing with blacks that are saying this. You're not gonna avoid whites. You're not gonna avoid Asians. You're not gonna avoid Hispanics. You know what I'm saying? You want to separate yourself or whatever, then go to a deserted island or something where
Mm,
they are not around.
that's true.
That's the only way you're gonna do it. You go to schools, they're gonna be one, unless you go to like an all-black school. You go to a job, if you have a subordinate, there's gonna be one, unless
Mm-hmm.
you go to an all-black place and demand that, or you become a CEO of your own business, and then you just hire all people that look like you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you don't deal with the councilmen as far as opening up the establishment. You got to make sure they're black too.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah.
Your attorney got to be black. The judge got to be black. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're not gonna
It's
avoid it.
impossible
So
to
it's
not have
it's
to
dumb.
mix. Yeah.
I think it's dumb. To each your own. Do what you want to do. But that's my solution for that, and I think it's a dumb mindset.
Yeah.
Now, correction, I don't believe black people are racist. You know what I'm saying? But I just think it's a dumb mindset for them to think that way. And if you want to think that way, think however you want to think. But you should just isolate yourself, move out of America or
Mm.
whatever. You know what I'm saying? But this is going on in the whole world. So even if you go to
Yeah.
London, it's worse there.
Can you believe those poor freaking soccer players? The shit that they were freaking facing. I saw they tried to jump one of them going into he was going into some room at the stadium. That's
Yeah.
awful. Come on, people. That's
Yeah.
terrible. It's
So
a fucking game. Excuse my
it's not
language.
like, you're not gonna escape these people. If you're saying, "Oh yeah, I want to be segregated," blah blah blah, y'all do you, and whatever it is, then you as that individual or individuals need to move away
And not for nothing, I just feel
because
like that's just perpetuating more. Like you're not
yeah,
really
you're
fixing anything.
you're not gonna avoid them,
Right.
which is my point. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, to me, it's like, you know we just need to come together regardless of color.
Mm-hmm.
We need to look at each other as like human beings.
Yeah.
And it's hard to see that because you always like, even me, like, I'm gonna look at a white person and I'm gonna automatically think, I'm gonna
That they're
automatically
racist.
know, no, I'm gonna automatically think and know they have they've used their privilege.
Oh yes.
You know what I'm saying? They've
Mm-hmm.
used their privilege in whatever capacity, whether it was getting out of tickets or whatever, getting that job. They've used their privilege. So I'm always gonna know that, and I'm always gonna know that I could be friends with white people because I have white people who I'm friends with. But if they don't see, if they're oblivious to racism, we're not friends.
Yes, I agree. We spoke about that too on one of the past
Yeah, if they're
episodes.
oblivious to racism, we're not friends. Because, like I was saying in shows, I will always say this: privilege is invisible to those who have it. So that's why that person, whether it's a woman friend, male friend, will say, "Oh, what are you talking about? Discipline?
Mm-hmm.
No, you're just using the race card. Oh man, it's not really like that. It's invisible to them.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And that conversation, if it's going like that, we won't be friends."
Yeah. I
And
think you stated that in the uh maker like the deal breaker one.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
and
I
these
remember.
yeah, and these individuals need to understand that, if you are white, if you are Asian, if you are not black, brown, and you support them and you love them and you love the culture, because there's two difference. A lot of these motherfuckers love the culture,
Mm.
but they don't love black people. If
Yeah.
you love the culture and you love black people, then you use your privilege
Yeah.
to
Be an
help
ally.
us. You
Mm-hmm.
use your privilege to help them. You have a black friend, you use your privilege to help them.
Yeah.
You see, whether it's a white girl that likes black guys,
Mm-hmm.
Latina that likes black guys, and your man or your husband is black.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The projects were created to keep us oppressed, as well as Planned Parenthood that was created to allow mostly black women to have abortions
Mm,
so that there wasn't so many black babies around.
mm,
Can you believe that? I mean, it backfired on her because now on the woman who started it
mm.
because she was very racist and that was her specific point to making Planned Parenthood was that, but obviously it kind of backfired on her because everybody went and used it. Why
Yeah,
black so much?
times have changed
Mm-hmm.
because back in slavery era, our ancestors were beaten, raped, and forced. The women were
Mm-hmm.
forced to have children to have more slaves.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, we need more workers. You gotta have babies.
Yep.
You know what I'm
That's
saying? They
awful.
also forced them to breastfeed because they realized how dominant black genes were.
Mm.
We need you to breastfeed our white babies to keep them strong. So you don't have to read this, but I will. The black man's dick has always been an obsession of the white man because of their ladies. That was one of the reasons why racism started and slavery. There's a plethora of reasons why it started, but that was one of
Well,
the reasons.
slavery.
Well, excuse me?
I said slavery.
Yeah.
Definitely racism because I could understand. I could understand that. I
And
think slavery
slavery.
was well underway. I think, but
Well,
definitely.
and slavery.
Mm-hmm.
There's a plethora of reasons why slavery started, but racism, that was one of the reasons also why racism started.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think the white man has always been obsessed with the black man's dick, the black man's muscular
Physique.
skeletal system,
Mm-hmm.
his muscular tissue. He's always been because I mean this was going back into the 1600s when the white women were having affairs with the slaves. You know, they saw something obviously the whites couldn't. And, you know, when you have situations like these, it's like men are born to be conquerors. So, you want to establish yourself, build your brand, whatever, get money, and then get a woman or women. So when you feel that there's a race that is stopping one of those things, it creates hate.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
You know what I'm saying? There's more interracial couples and babies, mixed babies now than there was back then.
Yeah.
And more women are
Well.
actually dating outside of their race,
Mm-hmm.
gravitating towards the specific race of black.
Okay.
Like a woman could have been with a white guy, got divorced, she gets with a black guy. Asian could have been with a white guy, but married to a black guy. You know what I'm saying? This is going on.
Mm-hmm.
So these men are aware of this, and it's like, you know, I've received hate, and I said it in a prior show. I've received hate. It was this white guy. It happened more than once. Came into my DMs.
Oh my God! On
Um,
through Instagram.
I think Facebook,
Damn.
yeah,
Oh, back then.
Instagram,
Okay.
Facebook, yeah. Came into my DMs trying to emasculate me. All these racial slurs. Oh, why don't you stick with your kind? Why don't
Oh
you
my
know? Da da
God.
da da da. And I think it was. I wasn't even. I was just talking to this young lady.
Mm-hmm.
She was she was mixed, and we were just talking. And I don't know if this guy's a phone checker or something. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm getting all this hate. And it's like when I see this type of bigotry, when I see this type of racism, when I see this shit happening, it's like they already hate us. But now it's like, damn, nigger, like you gotta fucking take our ladies too. You see, maybe they might
Wow.
have not have articulated that, but they
Mm-hmm.
think that way also.
Oh yeah.
You see what I'm saying? This is one of the reasons why black men, especially black men, are oppressed more than black women. Because women are still women, they have a pussy. You might have the like I was stating earlier, you might have that white guy who's the CEO, and you're a beautiful black woman. And he sees, oh, she's gonna be something good to look at every day. Now, here's the thing. I've stated this: black men and white men are not created the same. Not dick size, not muscular tissue, not mental capacity, nothing, ambition, hustle, physical capacity. Nothing is the same with us. So they know that they are the lesser genes. And I'm not saying this to be disrespectful. This is just a fact.
Okay.
They know that they are the lesser genes. The lesser
Being. I don't know. I
uh
don't even know how to say
they have the lesser genes.
it. Okay.
Black men have the most dominant genes. So how are we going to oppress them? They're already winning in everything. So in order for us to be high in all these things, we got to keep them down.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's happening. That's what's happened.
It's funny how you said that they've always been curious or about your skeletal and musculature and all that stuff. Back in the days, doctors were so curious as to why the black man could run more or whatever it
Run
is,
faster, jump
right?
higher.
And they also thought, which is why black women now giving birth, they're not, when they say that they're in pain and they need painkillers, that stigma of Black people's pain tolerance is higher than normal. So they're lying. Obviously,
Mm,
she just wants drugs or whatever.
mm,
That's their thinking. But the doctors back in the day
mm,
would cut to study and not give any anesthesia because
mm,
they believed Black people could not feel pain.
mm.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That's insane. American sports. Well,
Wait a minute.
did what I do? You
American
said
sport.
that part already. Women who only date Black men and love. Well, you said people, but especially women who date Black men to use their privilege to help.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Cause I've seen it all the time. I see a white girl with a black guy, Latina with a black guy, whatever it is. It's like, you know, most of the time, like you're not even respecting that man. You know what I'm saying? Like you should be calling him king. You should be treating him like a king. You should always be on your knees for a black man, especially if you with him. But you don't respect the black man subconsciously because the world doesn't. Back in the days, the black women always used to see the black man bow down to the white slave owner. So it's like these are generational curses that has to be broken.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? Black men have to protect black women, yes, but first the black woman has to respect the black man. You see what I'm saying? The white woman, if she's with the black man, she has to respect him. The Latina, the Asian, whatever it is, Australian, whatever, they're with black men, they have to respect them. Not just because they have big dicks, not just because they can satisfy you better than other races. That's why you like black men. Stop fetishizing black men. I have to say it because a lot of people won't say it. See what I'm saying? It's not
mm-hmm.
just he's not just there to pleasure you. He's not just there to for you to use him.
Mm,
You see what I'm saying? You gotta feel his pain. You see what I'm saying? So when she's going through shit, be there. When black people are going through shit and you have a black man, support black people.
mm.
You see what I'm saying? Because it's like, how you gonna have how that white woman, that Latina, that Asian who is with the black man has a bigger job than if she was with her own race.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And they don't get it, especially the young ones.
You don't think the younger ones get it?
No, they
I feel
don't.
like that's changing though.
No, they don't. When you hear about when you hear like, yo, go take a poll and then we'll have a part two. Go out there, your nurses, whatever it is, doctors, go out there and ask specifically women, what do you have a race preference? If they say black, ask them why. A
Okay.
lot of them are gonna say, I don't know. A lot of them are gonna say, oh, skin tone. A lot of them are gonna say, now, now they won't be bold to say the sexual aspect because they don't want to seem as hoes. But that is the main reason. The
Okay.
other stuff fall into it.
Mm.
You see what I'm
I can
saying?
see that.
So for me, it's like, if you're gonna love the black man because of his dick, love everything about him.
That's fair.
So when you get into an argument, the Latina shouldn't be calling him nigga now because she mad. You see what I'm getting at?
With an A or a hard R, it you mean?
Either or.
Mm.
See what I'm saying? He's
Mm.
not your nigga. You see, so for me, it's like, you know, you have a different job. You got a different title, you got a different demeanor, you got a different character when you with a black man. You know what I'm saying? And if you specifically only date black men, there's a reason why.
Mm.
So you better treat him like a king or go back to your own race. And I'm talking to white
Jeez.
girls, I'm talking to Latinas, I'm talking to Asian chicks, I'm talking to Chinese, Japanese, I'm talking to all these other race women who aren't black and brown. And they're dating black men. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because the swag, the big dick, the sexual prowess, the skin tone, the melanin, the creativity, the gift of gab, the suave, the confidence, the jump higher, the muscles, the run faster. Jenny is more than that. The style, the swag, the color coordination is more than that.
Mm.
Understand your black men. Learn him. You learn what he's going through. You know what I'm saying? Because when you guys can't have sex anymore, y'all get to like 90, 80 or something years old, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to be together anymore because you was with him for the superficial reasons.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Okay.
important for me to say this
Okay.
because women have a lot of women, and what this is what a lot of people don't talk about. A lot of women have a a race preference, and even if they don't have a race preference, they have a sexual one. And even if they don't have a sexual or race preference, they have a character preference. So even so, people could talk about high value all day long till they blue in the fucking face. They could talk about money, 6 figures, 8 figures all day long. But if you a square, if you maybe the other race that she don't like, if you not dominant or whatever she likes as a man, because women like different things. If you are not these things, it don't matter how good looking you are, tall, handsome, money. She's not gonna be into you.
That's true.
See what I'm saying? Because
Mhm.
all women have a criteria of men. They don't just follow a man because he has a lot of money. If you are obese
I
and
hope not.
if you are obese and you have a lot of money, she's probably gonna have a side dude, and it might be a black guy who doesn't have a lot of money. You see?
That's true.
You see? So the thing is, like, and those women are there for stability. Those women are there for security. You see? But they have a preference, or they would have never had a side.
That's true.
Okay? So, like, I believe every woman has a preference. They may not have a race preference, but they have a preference of a man. They have a criteria of a man, whether he got to be dominant, whether he got to be black, whether he got to have tats, whether he got to make a certain amount of money, whether he got to be tall, whether he got to have the gift of gab, whether he got to have a mind, whether he got to have accomplishments. Every woman has something. They don't just go with the man because he's handsome and tall.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? If he's handsome and tall and he's black and he has a big dick, she might not care about the other things. But you see what I'm saying? The preference? Because she has the 3 or 4 preferences that he meets.
Right, the criteria.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay, American sports.
Okay, so American sports, the most popular are baseball, basketball,
Football.
football, um, I
Not
think
soccer. Soccer's
that's
global, but not
global, yeah.
American.
Hockey's not as
Hockey's pretty big, but
it's
they're
not.
dominant. They're
Yeah.
predominant. They're white.
Yeah. Back in the days, people could research this. Back in the days, black people were in hockey.
Mm-hmm.
You
They're
know?
starting to come back. They're
Yeah.
starting to make their way into the hockey. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot more of them now.
But the American sorry to cut you. The American sports is going back to black culture. So let's do the top 3. Okay? Baseball, basketball, football. Baseball, 102 no, I'm sorry, 162 games. Basketball, 82 games. Football, 16 games. But now the new thing, the commissioner said 17 now.
Ever since the pandemic, or why has
Yeah.
that changed?
Yeah, ever since
Oh.
the pandemic. So
Oh,
17,
interesting.
17 weeks.
Oh.
So 17 no, 17 games. Yeah, so that's 17 weeks. Yeah. Okay, because it's once a week.
Oh, okay.
Basketball, sometimes they play 3 times a week or 4 times or whatever. Okay. So baseball, I've always known Hispanics to dominate
I
in
was
that.
gonna say
And
Dominicans.
Dominicans.
I was gonna say
Dominicans and
that.
Puerto Ricans. I've always seen them to dominate in that.
Yeah,
Football, blacks. We
100%.
know that. Basketball, blacks. We know that. So, like, this is part of black culture. This is part of because you look at ticket sales, you look at all this stuff. Take all the black players away from these sports.
Mm. Yeah, that's true.
Take all the black players away from these sports.
You know, I was hoping for that actually with the whole Kaepernick thing. I wanted to see how that would be,
Mm.
but you know, I guess everybody has to feed their family, and they're willing to do something for something.
No. What happened was, remember before remember when you said you wanted that to happen,
Yeah,
and on the show I was like,
it's never gonna happen.
it's not because they're in contract
Yeah, and you
and
could they could get sued if you don't
yes.
play.
So
I forgot.
this is what happened. They had a board meeting, owners, whatever, coaches, players, right? And okay, we gotta play now. Being the author, let me just picture what happened in there. Half of the guys was like, "Yo, we're not playing." Half of the coaches was like, "We understand them," and blah blah blah. We back them. The owners was like, "Hell no, we fucking losing money. We don't give a fuck. If you don't have to go to the hospital, you can walk. Y'all better be out there. We need to make money." Commissioners, whatever, was just like, I'm split on both sides, but I'm leading towards the owners because they're right. You know, we're gonna lose money, and he's losing the most. You see what I'm saying?
Meanwhile, he's a multimillionaire, greedy bastard.
Billion.
What did I say? Multimillionaire?
Millionaire, yeah.
Oh, multi-billionaire?
Yeah.
Greedy bastard.
So you know, like, to me, it's like they can't, as much as they want to.
Yeah.
There's certain things they can't say as much as they want to. You know what I'm saying? Your contract doesn't allow you to. Your contract, you have to play these games,
Right.
or this is what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You can't walk out. You can't do this. This is what you're gonna get fined. You want to walk out on a game, you want to get fined. You want to not show up for a game, you're gonna get fined. You want to did it? You see what I'm saying? You are in contract for 82 games unless you have injury or COVID protocol or something, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Unless that, you're not in the hospital, whatever, sick, injuries, physical fractures, whatever, sprains, you are to be on the court.
I think that's why when Colin did what he did, that was such a, you know, that was a fucking
Ballsy
big
move.
ass fucking ballsy move and a big motherfucking statement.
Yeah.
And
he's a
pretty
Scorpio.
much
He's a Scorpio too.
he pretty much said, "Fuck all y'all. Take this money, shove it up your ass, and I'm gonna stand for what I'm gonna stand for what I believe in." And you know what? I still think he's very much still involved in that stuff too. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Final thoughts?
Do you have any?
My final thoughts are I don't think I don't know if I don't think it will ever end, but I feel like there's a bigger shift coming. And I've stated this before. I think once all the old racist people in whatever group, once they die off, damn, that sounds so awful. But once they die off, I feel like the newer, younger generation won't be as bad, and we might start. Hopefully,
you don't mean it literally. You mean it figuratively.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just want to clarify that. We're not wishing anything on anybody.
No death. Jeez.
Yeah.
All right. Now it's your turn.
Yeah. One of the biggest and longest issues that prevent the black community from moving forward towards real progress and improvement is self-awareness and reflection. We don't believe we are powerful, and we don't help our brothers and sisters like the Chinese, Japanese, whites, and more of the others kinds do with their own kind. We have deep-rooted issues and traumas we haven't come to acceptance and to change. The generational curses, the kills, the exploitations, the outright mockery of the black race. But the irony is they gravitate towards it, and they attempt to steal all we've created. Rest in peace to Paul Mooney. He said it best. Everybody want to be a nigga, but nobody want to be a nigga. Now, here's the thing. This is one of the reasons why I like uplifting my people. They come on the podcast. I give them platforms or whatever to just, articulate and voice their opinion. They product, I'm gonna buy it. Yo, you coming out with a book? No, don't give me one for free. I'm gonna buy it. Because, like, this is what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? We only got us. And in order for us to make it, we gotta keep, like, one climbs a ladder, drop the other one, and the other one puts out the hand. We gotta keep doing it that way, so we could all
Pulling
pull each other up. Because, like, this is what the other races do. What happens with us is we have so much ego and we're stubborn and all these traumas that we
Yep.
want to compete
Yep.
so much. Oh my God, he got the Gucci. I gotta get the Gucci. Oh my God, he got the house. Now I gotta get the Ferrari. Always gotta compete instead of helping and uplifting. Um, you know, and you see it all the time. Like even even the Mexicans who have come here, right? They'll work for minimum wage in sweatshops. They send money to their country so
Yeah.
they could bring
Not just Mexicans, yep.
yeah,
All them types of
you know what I'm saying? So they
yeah,
could bring
Chileans,
their
everything.
families back. They might be in a house full of like 5 people where they paying like $6 each for rent and they're saving so they could get this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You think the Chinese just automatically was born rich? You know what I'm saying? They maneuvered shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
And it was a cohesive unit. That's how
Mm-hmm.
they building
Indians too,
conglomerates.
yep.
So you see like Brooklyn is changing now
Mm-hmm.
because they're being bought by all these different people. I'm not going to mention them, but you know what I'm saying? Like this is what they're doing.
Yeah.
And it's like black people need to, you know, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to say it. They need to stop fucking buying Jordans. They need to stop fucking buying Ferraris and putting it in music videos. They need to stop fucking buying Gucci and all this other stuff. They need to stop buying these things. They need to stop doing these things and start owning property, owning land, owning this and that. You don't fucking own the block.
Or support black, don't get a freaking what is that? Richard Mille. There's black people who make watches.
I don't even know any of those things. Like I'm surprised you do. I don't know any of these things.
I
Like
saw it on Instagram.
Birkin stuff. I don't know of any of these things. Like I'm just psychologically immune to them. Like I'm blind. Now, the thing is, these guys who are corner boys, and I've been there, okay? So I want to talk to them. These guys who are corner boys, the block doesn't belong to you.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Work to own the block. Now you a boss.
Yeah.
Land. Buy land. Property.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? Like, so to me, it's like, this is one of the reasons why I'm always trying to like uplift our people to just be an example of doing that. Like, I'm not doing this for money because there are some black activists out there who get paid to do it.
Yes.
And they act like they're doing it to support black people, but no, you get paid to do that. You see what I'm saying? You get paid to go to these meetings and protests and shit. Like, you get paid to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, for me, like, it means more for us to own our shit because we never had our shit. But we was the original. Everything originated from black. The land was stolen. You see what I'm saying? Christopher Columbus didn't discover America.
Nope.
You see what I'm saying? Like we need to just own our shit.
Definitely.
So like when I see people who are owning our shit, like a Latina who has a thing, yo, come on the show, promote it, and this and that. If you didn't come on, you missed your opportunity. You'll never get it again. Because opportunities are there and they're not waiting on you. You see what I'm saying?
That's
but these
true.
are the things that I try to do for my people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we're not paying people to come on the show. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, to me, it means more for that than
Me too.
everything.
I agree with you. I feel it feels good to be able to allow somebody who may not have an opportunity, to push their product or come on the show. I
Yes.
love when we do that.
Yes.
I love when we have guests.
I'm gonna dissect my final thoughts and then we're gonna cut. Self-awareness and reflection. When we look at the mirror, we see ourselves as lesser because we're socially conditioned too. We don't see ourselves as kings and queens. You see what I'm saying? The way social media and everything, whether it was a job, you have a degree, you were always under the thumb. There was a glass ceiling. You can only be here. You can't be at the table with us. You can only be here. We have to look at ourselves in the mirror, and we also have to associate ourselves with people who are already made it.
Yes.
That's what I always like to do. Like I always say, if you want to be a lion, you got to train with lions.
Yeah.
You can't, if you want to be a lion, you can't train with sheep.
Right.
You can't train with zebra because
what do they know about being a lion?
Yeah, and you eat them. So it's like to me, it's like, we got to dive right into our divinity. The ancient Egyptians, we were kings and queens prior. and we have to be aware of this.
Mm.
That's number one. Number two, the Paul Mooney thing. Everybody want to be a nigga, but nobody want to be a nigga. That's a fact. Now here's the thing: a white kid from the suburban area, he's black today, but when the cops pull him over, he's white.
Yeah.
He speaks properly, educated, all of that shit. He's white. So, this is one of the things that I mean. And it comes down to like awareness and coming together and
Yes.
and associating yourself,
Community.
associating like that black man who is unaware of himself, affiliate yourself with black men who are kings, who think of kings and are doing king shit,
Yeah.
because then you will be. Me, I like to um I like to be around women a lot, because I'm a man that, some men are just come more comfortable with the opposite sex, but I never shy away from men when
Mm.
it counts. My father wasn't active in my life early, but he was in late.
Mm-hmm.
I watch football, watch basketball. I try to be around more alphas as possible because it makes me feel like, oh, okay, y'all was around chicks
My
all day
people.
today,
Right.
personal training them and this and that, listening to their feelings. But now I'm around dudes. All right, like you got to get back into your identity.
Comfortable, right.
Yeah, that's why, like, it's so essential to have men, father figures and mentors, because if I'm an alpha, my son is automatically gonna be one when I have a son.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping I do. Not all girls. I'm hoping I
Talk
have
about karma.
at least one son. I want to have. But even the girls will be alpha. But that's what I mean. Like, try to be more around alpha males
Mm.
if you want to be an alpha male.
Yeah.
Don't, you're an alpha and you're around beta males or simps or submissive guys. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm saying with that.
It kind of goes with that saying, you're as good as the people that you surround yourself with.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. So this is a fact. Like, everybody wants to be black until it's really time and shit hits the fan to be black. And now it's like, oh, what was all that shit you was talking? You got Twitter fingers.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, like, oh, the cops pull you over. You're white today. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
it's like, oh, no, it was him that did it. He's the one that stole it. Like, you see what I'm saying? So it's like, it's so attractive to be cool and the slang and the hip hop and the style and stuff. But you don't want to you don't want the skin color.
Right. You don't want the problems that come with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you want the high paying
the
job.
notoriety that comes with it, but not
Yes,
the
you want
problems.
the high paying job, the boss title, but you don't want the responsibilities.
Mhm.
Yeah. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, you were tuned into the Discipline Therapy Podcast. Peace.
Peace.